Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video. Ignore my messy desktop, please. I am actually a little bit, sick, so please bear with me on that, but, anyways, first I would like to kind of explain what this is about. So, we're going to be creating a UE dump of just so we can really get a look at certain indexes and how Unreal Engine is reversed. You'll see. It's just kind of useful in reversing Unreal Engine based games. So what we're gonna do first, right, is we want to know what Unreal Engine version our game is. So we're gonna go to our logs. So for Fortnite, for example, that's what this is mainly going to be about. There's going to be a log here, and there's a Fortnite game.log, right? So we can open this, and if we search for engine space version, we should see one of these, right? So the first thing we want to look at is this right here. So 5.4.0. That's an issue, and here's why. 5.4 is our, am I like autistic? Why is my brain not working? Hold on. 5.4.0. So if we look in Unreal Engine, Epic Games Launcher, and go to our Unreal Engine tab and go to engine versions, we can see that there's 5.4.4, right? That's one of the engine versions. However, we don't want that one because this says 5.4.0, which means you're going to actually subtract 1 and you're going to go to like 5.3. I already have that installed, but 5.3.2 is the one you would want in this case for my particular build, right? So if it says 5.4.0, if it ends in a 0, go back one engine build. Honestly, it's probably good practice to just do that no matter what. Not fully sure about other games, but I know that's kind of a fact for Fortnite at least. Because you want the most close engine version to what your game is running, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So just make sure you crap. Okay, so I apologize for not saying this earlier, but when you go to install your build, you will have an option for editor symbols for debugging. You're going to want to check that. It's very important. And you can uncheck starter content or even templates and feature packs just so it saves you a little bit of storage space, but you definitely need the debugging symbols first. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to open our project, which you can name it whatever you want, but I named it basically what the engine version is, just so I can remember, like in File Explorer. Okay, so we're gonna open this now. And immediately when we load, this will be different if you're using UE4, and I'll show you how to do this in a minute on UE4 as well. So immediately, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna ignore everything else. And once this loads, you're gonna go to platforms if you're on UE5. If not, skip this part. Go to Windows because that's what you're on. Make sure this says debug game. If it doesn't, here's what you should do. You should go to, actually no matter what, don't even click debug game. Just go to packaging settings and search for just scroll down, honestly, forgot what it's called, build configuration, and make sure it's set to debug game. And then you can go here and hit package project, and that should take you, you can select the folder, but personally I put it in here and then in here. Alright, so on UE5, when you go to, you're going to want to go to Windows, UE5, wait no, Engine actually, binaries, Win64. Then you have Unreal Game 164-debug game. Right, this is what you want. You have the PDB here, and you have the exe. You're going to want to open the exe in IDA, right? And then you're going to want to use that PDB. And I wish I could have a better way to do that, to explain that. But basically, if it asks you for looking for PDB, just hit OK or yes, and it should automatically find this one. And then once you've done that, and you fully loaded the database and everything, and it says idle in the bottom corner, you're going to want to open that UE database, go to, yeah, that one, that's the one I'm using. And this is actually a very effective way to find certain things in other UE games. Okay, it'd be nice if this would load. Any day now. Okay, so we have it all loaded in here now, right? And we can take a look around. Once we have everything done, you should see IO in here. You don't need a rebase on this. That's just gonna be a waste of your time, honestly, because we're not actually using any of the offsets. So let's go to something pretty commonly needed for, you know, reversing a game, I guess. You know, get net mode. If you're gonna make a server of it, you probably want to make sure you're on dedicated server. So there's some dedicated server stuff that is definitely needed. Any day now this might load. Okay. Oh wait, no, it's okay, sometimes it's better to do that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, after internal get net mode, and it's already on it. So now we know what the function structure looks like. So then if we go to our Fortnite one, and I'm not going to go through the hell of doing that again, but basically if you go to your Fortnite one, you can look for a structure like this, and sometimes you don't even have to do that. What you can instead do is go to your top of this function here. You can look at the xrefs that it calls, and you can, if there's a string in there, you can search for that string ref, right? And you can even make patterns if you have a SIGMaker plugin. I may leave a link to that in the description, but this is for 8.3 IDA, so there may be better signature plugins you can use. But yeah, that's pretty much how you get a UE dump and what it's useful for. You know, stuff like that, really understanding how the UE structure works, and it can even help you to get certain more unknown offsets. Like, let's say we wanted to get a class member that is not a U property. Maybe something in U function invoke. You now have whatever this is really supposed to be. I don't really know, honestly. Oh wait, this should be, oh, I know this somewhere, but it's just not coming to me right now. I believe this is func though. This right here should be func, like exec function. Just because of the parameters it's using. I'm pretty sure of that, but second thing is, what am I looking for? Oh, right, names. This is how we can get to our VFTs. Yay. And I'll show you what that's useful for in a moment as well. Hello? Yo. I'm about to get pissed. Where? Fuck. Is it? Oh, open subviews, names. Alright, there we go. So, this is probably the best example I have at the moment is I'm trying to think. What could I use? Let's use replication driver. Right, let's say we want to get sort of replicate actors. So we have this in mind, right? We're going to remember that address, keep that there, right? So now what we want to do is we want to get server replicate actors. The index though, we don't want the offset, we want the index, which can be easily gotten on this. Because now we can just go here and hit F5. Yeah, of course it says this, that's normal, right? Then we get this offset. We scroll all the way up, and I'm kind of giving you a little hint of how you can get VFT indexes, but then you get turn this to hex and then put minus the address of your VFT, and you should know what those are from last episode, and you get 340. Divide, actually no, don't divide that by 8 unless you're going to use it, but then you go to your game, search for your VFT replication driver plus 0x340, and there's a good chance that you'll be able to find your function, or it'll be pretty close. I mean, you can literally just check the parameters that are next to it by hovering over them, so that should help you out with that. But anyways, I hope that kind of gave you an idea. I don't know. Enjoy. I don't enjoy this, but you know, it's fine. Hope this was helpful.